I'm here to tell you that Sovereign is a great movie. I really enjoyed it from a right wing perspective because as a right wing activist, whenever we try to have a meeting about crime, banking, housing reform, or anything serious, we always get these conspiracy theorists that waste your time with absolute nonsense, or you're organizing a rally support candidates in an election and then they give a speech about how if you don't vote it nullifies the elections. Nonsense. So the philosophy of this man, now I'm trying to do this spoiler minimum, so I'm hopefully not to spoil anything. So let's say one intelligent thing the man says. He's talking about fractional reserve banking and how central banking creates more money in the system and then causes inflation. That is true, what he says. And you can read books on it. You've got Human Action, you've got by Ludwig von Mises, you've got Carl Menger, um, decadeofdata.com, but there's data science prove this, and Javier Milei has radically altered Argentina with this economic philosophy. So the problem we have on the right is someone has a good idea or something that is truthful, but then spends their time talking about nonsense, about straw men. In Ireland, we call the sovereignty movement "free man on the land," because it makes a little more sense when you're in Europe. And you then can't have a serious conversation about banking. And there's all these people in the nationalist movement that are opposed to people having their houses repossessed, and they believe that because they're a father, they're super important and they should get piles of free stuff. Right? That is effectively what it means, right? If you get a loan from a bank, you don't pay it off, and you think you should get the house for free, you just want free stuff. Right? It's nonsense. So the right is full of people like this, but luckily those kind of people are too stupid to win elections. So we shouldn't really entertain them, which is why I enjoy this movie and I recommend watching the movie Sovereign, particularly if you're on the right. Maybe the writers were meant to be making fun of right wing people in general, but those of us who have always been on the right, before bank bailouts, I was on the right. I've always been centre right. It is everybody else who went to the left, not me. So I am used to these conspiracy theorists just ruining political movements by waffling nonsense. And in Ireland, we've seen certain people pretending to be legal advisors giving people terrible legal advice, and they lose their homes or something gets foreclosed. However, these sovereignty type people can be very fun and entertaining at times. Like sometimes they do get court cases thrown out just for wasting court's time. And this thing about committing, oh, what's it called? Not breach of contract, not impeachment, whatever. You violate a court order and you get arrested, and then they claim that the original thing they got arrested for is why they're in jail. It's like not you've broken the conduct of the court or whatever how it's phrased properly, right? They go into a court case, they say nonsense, and they get put in jail for 3 days, and they claim to be a political prisoner. Those type of people just don't waste your time with them. What I found really interesting is that while it predominantly focuses on this conspiracy theory guy or the guy claiming to be a sovereign, yeah, and this thing of I'm not driving a vehicle. This is my transport. There's loads of people in Ireland who try to pull that stunt. It can be funny, but also annoying when they insist that they're right. But there is an interesting juxtaposition on his ideology that the movie focuses on. But now, try not to do a spoiler. There's two government employees and the movie compares their attitude towards parenting. So you have the main character's attitude towards parenting and these two other group of employees. And so it does actually kind of show a little bit that it's not just the sovereignty people that are a little bit nuts, it's the people who are also insanely pro authority are also just as bad, even though the movie just focuses on the sovereignty people. So I quite liked it. The movie goes out of control and gets wilder as it goes on. And you're like, wow, oh, what are you doing? Uh, I'm not a good expert, but I do come from an engineering background. Let's just say his good of choice isn't one I'd pick if I'm having some kind of a gun battle with people. Let's just put it like that. It's not, it looks fun and entertaining in a movie, but it's not my gun of choice. I'm not a good expert, but I prefer things that shoot straight. Like how I speak. So, at risk of spoilers. If you don't want to risk a spoiler, here's your chance to pause or mute what I'm about to say next. Okay. I believe one of the side morals of the story, a solution to this extremism, is hinted or suggested at, which is go to church and be a good father. That is my take on the movie Sovereign. I'm sure you love my review, and I wish you all well, and I recommend watching the movie Sovereign. It is an action drama, but I guess my mentality, I, I took it as a comedy because I was just laughing at it the whole way through. Aaron Cabral, gentlemen.